Okay, everybody, well, welcome to the Great Discovery special Wednesday night training. Tim Taylor here, co-CEO. Whether you're watching this live on YouTube, Facebook Live, replay, or just sitting in your room watching it on your phone, welcome to the event. I think you're really going to enjoy this. Sandra and Dr. Kathy Lawson have been working behind the scenes on some amazing new things. We're going to be showcasing that tonight, and it's culminating in a powerful event. It's a live on virtual summit that is on November 15th. So between this week and next week, you're going to start getting a lot of information about what that summit's all about. And tonight, many of you know Sandra, the co-CEO of the Great Discovery and co-founder, and she is just absolutely the machine that makes it all work. Both her and Dr. Lawson have a storied background among the two of the top 26 Six Sigma experts in the world. And her late husband was actually the co-creator of Six Sigma. What you're going to hear about tonight is really a background of where we came from, the Great Discovery, a global educational marketplace. How did that morph from one of the top 10 business innovations in world history? That's the story that you're going to be getting on here tonight. We're going to wrap this up at the end of the evening with some open Q&A. Tune in, and here is the amazing Sandra Harry to go kick us off. Take it away, Sandra.
Well, thank you, Tim, and thank you everybody for being here. Really appreciate that. I'm going to share my screen. Let me get set up here for just a second. Get a couple things out of the way. Sorry, hold on. I have one little issue. Let's try that again. There we go. And share. And there. Great. And pull this back over here, and we will get started here in just 1 second. All right. Well, as Tim said, I'm Sandra Harry, and I am co-CEO of The Great Discovery. And there is a story, and everybody loves to hear the stories, right? So this is from Six Sigma to The Great Discovery, the evolution of human excellence. So let's get started. It all really goes back to this man and what he did in his life. And it's an amazing story. His story alone is amazing. And then the great discovery coming from him is actually amazing. So we're going to talk through that tonight. But I want to introduce you to Dr. Michael Harry. He is my late husband. We lost him in 2017, way too early. And he was the co-creator and chief architect of Six Sigma. And he also conceived the great discovery. So let's jump in and see how that happened. I'm going to go back all the way to Michael's childhood. And I think it's important for us to go back and set the stage for this, because a lot of this is happening to children today. In school, Michael was born back in 1951, little tiny town called Middletown, Indiana, right? Midwest. He struggled in school. And unfortunately, his parents were called in by the principal and said, hey, your son's just not doing that well, putting it very nicely, and said he really needs to be vocationally guided. Okay. So he was put in shop class and he was taught to be a carpenter. He didn't get a choice. He didn't get to dream about what he wanted to do as a child. He was just put in shop class, and he came out of high school and went to work as a carpenter. Now, you can very well imagine in the middle of the winter in Indiana how cold it is. The picture depicts it well, freezing cold. And Michael would tell me that he'd get up in the morning early, they go to work early, it's really cold, and he'd drive into work and he'd see these big office buildings. And all these people were sitting in their suits and ties and jackets, and they were all warm, sitting at their nice desks, and everything was really cool, looked really cool inside the buildings. And he thought to himself, how in the heck did I end up out here pounding nails at, below zero freezing weather, and I'm not in that office building? And he started to wonder, why did that happen, and how did that happen, and how could he change it? So he decided to start doing some investigating. He found out that he had to get a degree. If he wanted to go to work in one of those warm office buildings, he had to learn some sort of trade, some sort of knowledge, business of some sort, and be able to contribute there, not as a carpenter. So he did some investigating. His grades were so horrible coming out of school, he couldn't get accepted into college. But Ball State University, which was right there in his backyard, had actually the state of Indiana had a right to fail law. What that meant was at that time, you had a right to go to college no matter what your grades were. And if you failed, then you didn't make it in college. So Michael went and applied for Ball State, Indiana, Ball State University College. He went in and he started taking classes. And he very soonly found that he loved academia. He realized that he could go to class, listen to the lecture, skim the book, and ace the test. Well, why do you think Michael didn't do well as a child? Michael had an extremely high IQ. It was never identified. He was bored. So he just screwed around in class. The work was not challenging to him. It was kind of a joke to him. And so he did everything else in the classroom, which led the teachers to believe that he wasn't very bright. So he was pigeonholed as not being very bright and needed to be put into being a carpenter, vocationally guided. Now, kids these days in our public schools are literally, I'm going to use the word forced, it's kind of a strong word, but are literally forced to make decisions about their careers at what, 12 years old, 13 years old. These kids have no idea who they are. They're not given any curriculums to help them figure that out. They aren't taught what their values are. But we'll get to that a little bit later, okay? We'll come back to that. So Michael realized that he loved it and he excelled, and he went on to get his undergraduate degree in engineering, of all things. He loved it. Well, about the time that he applied to college, the Vietnam War was going on. It'd been going on for a while, and he got drafted, and he ended up in the Marine Corps. What the great thing about it was is that Michael was put into the officers candidate program, and he was allowed to finish his undergraduate degree at Ball State. And they told him, "Oh, that's 4 years out. The war will be over." Unfortunately, the war wasn't over when Michael got out of school, and he ended up in Vietnam, and he ended up being at the fall of Saigon. He was some of the last Marines there holding those lines. So that was a very difficult thing for Michael. He didn't talk about his service a lot, but he served our country, and he served our country well into his later years in very, very many different ways. In fact, they used Six Sigma to help fight terrorism in the government. So he had a huge impact on that. But later, when he got back from Vietnam, and he decided that he wanted to do his master's degree at Ball State University, and then he applied to do his doctorate degree to 3 different schools, and he ended up at ASU, Arizona State University, and that's how he ended up in Arizona from Indiana. So he went into ASU, and in 1982, Michael started his dissertation. And his dissertation was on the logic filters. So if you follow to the left side of this image right here that I'm putting a box around, actually, sorry, the left side of the image right here that I'm putting my cursor around, the logic filters, this was his dissertation. It was a problem-solving system. Michael wanted to create the world's best problem-solving system. That's what his dissertation was on. And it became later the basis for Six Sigma, which is amazing. So I'll walk you through that. So what happened is in 1983, Michael started doing an internship at Motorola's Government Electronics Group. That's how he ended up at Motorola. In 1984, he graduated from ASU with his PhD, with all this stuff. He had all kinds of stuff behind his name. He did quite well, and he loved it. He was at Motorola, and he was a research scientist, and that's what he loved. He had his little lab. He did research. He absolutely loved it. Well, in 1985, Motorola actually adopted Michael's logic filters for problem solving at Motorola. The same year, 1985, Motorola was about ready to go broke. Okay. The Japanese had come in and were using all kinds of TQM and all kinds of defect reduction programs, and they were killing US manufacturers. I mean, literally putting them out of business. Motorola was about ready to go broke. They had about 5 years. Bob Galvin was the chairman of the board at the time, and he knew this, and they were looking for solutions. So there was another engineer at Motorola, and his name was Bill Smith. And Bill Smith came up and coined the term Six Sigma. So a sigma is the goodness in something. That's what a sigma is if you research it. And so Bill knew that to save Motorola, he figured out that they would have to come up with an 1,800 times improvement. One sigma, the goodness of something, is equivalent to 1,800 times improvement. Not 10, not 18, 1800, 1800, 1,800 times, guys. This is a massive improvement, massive. So what happened was they adopted, they coined the term Six Sigma, Bill Smith did, but Bill didn't know how to put the math and statistics behind it. How was he going to make it work? He didn't know, but he knew a guy who did know how to do it. That was Michael's specialty. So Bill went to Michael and said, hey, can you help me with this concept? So Michael absolutely did. And he came up with the beginnings of Six Sigma and wrote a white paper called The Nature of Six Sigma. That ended up on Bob Galvin's desk one day, and Bob Galvin came down to Michael's research lab and said, hey, did you write this? And Michael actually thought he was going to lose his job. He said he'll never forget the chairman of the board walking into his lab wanting to know about this paper that he had written. And Bob Galvin, after reading it and talking to Michael, called Michael up to his office and said, we're going to do this, and you and Bill are going to lead it. Okay, so Michael said he was scared to death. He thought, oh my gosh, we're going to fail. It's not going to work. You know, the imposter syndrome, right? Oh my gosh, I can't do this. But they set out together to do this. Unfortunately, Bill Smith passed away of a heart attack in the cafeteria one day, right at work. So Michael, as he used to tell me, got hung with the project, and he still was fearful that it wasn't going to succeed. But it did succeed. It succeeded so massively that Motorola turned around. They became an extremely profitable company. They used Six Sigma. They succeeded. It took them about 5 years. They won the Malcolm Baldrige Award, which is a major, major accomplishment from a company that was about ready to go broke, right? Used a new thing called Six Sigma that nobody had ever heard of or used before, and it was only in-house at Motorola at that time. So they turned Motorola around. Bill Smith had passed. Bob Galvin, in his infant wisdom, knew that Motorola could not hold on to this technology. He knew that the world needed Six Sigma. So he patted Michael on the back and said, Michael, you must go take this to the world. I want to add one other little fun fact here. Miss Kathy Lawson, Dr. Kathy Lawson, also worked at Motorola's government electronics group. In fact, she was in Michael's very first black belt class ever held. She was in his very first class, you guys. That is history that you just can't even make up. That stuff you can't even make up. That is actually true. And so we are extremely, extremely proud to have her on the team. And I'll tell you a little bit more about when Kathy and I met as we go through this journey. But the minute we met, we became best friends and sisters for life. So it's been an amazing journey. So Motorola's turned around. So now let's talk about the generations of Six Sigma. You guys hear me talk about 3 generations. The Great Discovery is the 4th generation, right? So how does that all work? All right, well, let's talk about that. So Gen 1 was at Motorola, right? Here we go. 1980s, that was at Motorola, the story I just told you. And that focused on quality and defects. Now, one of the things that I want to point out back here, when I look at this slide, we're now moving to Six Sigma over here, which is define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. DMAIC is the core process that we use Six Sigma practitioners. Okay, I'm going to show you an expanded model that true Generation 3 practitioners use, but most of the world uses just DMAIC. Okay, so at Motorola, they used measure, analyze, improve, and control. We call MAIC. They did not have the D in there because why? They had one problem at Motorola. They had defects in pagers. That's what was taking them down. So as we go back here, as we move to Generation 2, and that was at Asea Brown Boveri, which is ABB, and General Electric. Everybody knows the power of Six Sigma at General Electric saved billions of dollars at GE. In fact, that's where cost reduction came in. So they focused not just on defects, but overall cost reduction. And that is where the D came in, because they had a multitude of problems. So they had to define what they were going to try and measure, analyze, improve, and control. So that's where the D was added during the deployment at General Electric. Okay, so, oops, sorry guys, I went the wrong way. Go the right way. So here we go. Then we moved on to generation 3, and that was at DuPont in the mid 2000s. And that is where Six Sigma really elevated itself and created shareholder value, where the customer and the provider both benefited from the relationship, not just one or the other. So here it was all about cost reduction. Yes, they could pass that on to the customer, but this is where they really increased shareholder value overall. Okay, so those are the 3 generations of Six Sigma: Motorola, GE, and DuPont. 3 generations, 1, 2, 3. So now where did 4 come from? So let's stop here for a second. Six Sigma is a proven process. It has been going for 40 years. It has been voted by MIT Sloan School of Business one of the top 10 business innovations in the last 150 years. I'm going to say that again. MIT Sloan School of Business, top 10 business innovations in the last 150 years. Okay. One of those is Henry Ford's assembly line. One of those is internet technology, cell phones. So this is not just some little system, some little, flash in the pan that was here for a while and gone. Six Sigma is here to stay. It will always be. But what is the issue? It's used in business only in business. So how can you as the individual, even with a small business, harness the power of Six Sigma? We use statistics and math, and it's rigorous. I mean, it is very, very rigorous. And so it's not something that just the faint of heart can do. And it's for analysts, engineers, not just soccer moms and accountants and normal people. I don't say normal people, but, general. So what Michael set out to do, I said in the beginning, is he wanted to create the world's best problem-solving system, and that's what he did. But it was just for big business. So where did the great discovery, the 4th generation, come from? How the heck did that come? Let's find out. Next step. During Michael's career, he was deploying at GE. General Electric was one of the most profitable and known deployments of Six Sigma of all time. It was an incredible deployment. Okay, Jack Welch was at the helm. He's the Captain of America business, they call him, and he was just a firecracker. So Michael was in Jack's office one night, about 18 months into the deployment of Six Sigma, and they were drinking their Jack and Coke, chatting after work. And Michael asked Jack, "Hey, Jack, what has Six Sigma done for you?" And Jack simply replied, "It allowed me to reach out and touch the control function of the company." So what he meant was, in Six Sigma, we use what we call the BOPE structure. It's the business structure, right? And what we do is we take metrics and we wire those up and down the BOPE business pyramid. And we know that if we move this metric over here, it's going to shift this metric over here. And we can see those metrics, and we now can control, right? That was the C is control in demand. And so once we get our bounds set, our upper and lower tolerance levels, then we can control processes, and we know exactly what's going to happen, the shifts and drifts. Okay. Michael said, "Great, Jack, that's awesome. That's exactly what Six Sigma was supposed to do." And Michael had the foresight to ask Jack another question. "What has Six Sigma not done for you?" And Jack said, "What about the other 95%? And what did Jack mean by that? The other 95%. You're thinking, what does that mean? Six Sigma touches 2 to 5% of the population of a corporation. 2 to 5% of the total population. So think about all the other 95% of the employees of that corporation. If they could use just a little bit of Six Sigma, right? Just some of it or all of it, imagine the savings. Now, at 18 months into the deployment of Six Sigma at GE, they had dropped accounting verifiable savings to the bottom line of $2.2 billion. I'll say that again, $2.2 billion. Okay. 18 months, and this is in the mid 90s. That's a lot of money. So what Jack was saying, if we could take the power of what those Six Sigma practitioners did, that 5%, and have at least a fraction of that applied to our other 95%, imagine the savings, right? And so Michael said to Jack, you know what, Jack? I don't have an answer for you. We're making so darn much money. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. And Jack said, great, let's do it. Now, later on, Michael did design lower belts. We at the time at GE, we had green belts and we had black belts. And that's when they started to, as Michael called it, water down the curriculums and made white belts and yellow belts. And they're great. And they're basically to inform people. We even have today belts called action belts, which is a new belt that the Six Sigma Management Institute, which is Michael's legacy, Six Sigma work, we designed to help people with Six Sigma principles, simple principles, to be able to take action using Six Sigma, right, at a lower level. And that will be coming on to the Great Discovery platform, as some of the Six Sigma stuff we'll be bringing over. So Michael then finishes up with GE and he moves on, but he takes note, the other 95%. And he tried to come up with a solution with the white and the yellow belts, okay? Didn't really solve the problem, but it was a first step. So on with his career, he's now deploying at Ford Motor Company. And Jack Nasser is the CEO of Ford Motor Company at the time. And Michael invited Jack to dinner one night. And Jack arrives at dinner and he sits down with Michael and he says, Michael, what do I owe the pleasure of having dinner with you tonight? Jack was from France, he's a Frenchman, very polished. And Michael said, you know what, Jack? Michael's an old cowboy. You know what, Jack? I just want to thank you for that big fat check. It was very expensive to deploy, tens of millions of dollars to deploy Six Sigma back then. And do you know what Nasser said? He said, I would have doubled it if you could just teach us how you think. Say that again. Just teach us how you think, right? Forget all the math and statistics. That hit Michael, he said, like a big red truck. And he sat there and he thought to himself, the other 95% and just teach us how you think. And it hit him. He said it hit him like nothing had ever hit him in his career. He said, oh my gosh, I have to go and see if I can find the underlying cognitive roadmap that made Six Sigma so successful. The Six Sigma way of thinking without all the math and statistics. Now, the beautiful thing about Michael is he was a research scientist, right? He kept everything. He had storage units full of records. This is before the internet and before, cloud storage and everything. So he had everything in paper format, guys. So he gathered a bunch of his Six Sigma pals, I'll call them, and they started to get together once a month and they created a cataloging system, kind of like the Congress Library cataloging system. And they started to catalog all the projects that were done. In Six Sigma, we create the savings via projects, okay? They're laid out projects and everything's all laid out. So they started to go through and they started to catalog. What made those successful? What made those unsuccessful? All the different variations of them. It took them, I think, he said, just less than a year to catalog all of the projects and to get the data points that they had. And what Michael came up with was what he called 52 big ideas. And he struggled with those for a long time. Now, Six Sigma was created in about 6 months. The Great Discovery took years. You know the old saying, if you want to take a book down to a paragraph, it takes exponentially longer than it took to write the book. If you want to take a paragraph down to a sentence, it takes exponentially longer than it took to write the paragraph, right? It took him years to synthesize all that work down, and he uncovered those 52 big ideas. And he struggled with those, and he wasn't sure what he was going to do with them. He told me one night he woke up in the middle of the night and he saw how they had formed what we call the proven path. And that was the beginning of the Great Discovery. And I want to show you guys now. And I also want to tell you, and I was going to tell you this at the end too, Kathy's doing a session next Wednesday, same time, same channel, and she's going to walk you through the Great Discovery and show you the proven path. So come back next Wednesday, and then we have a whole nother session on November 15th that's coming up that you will want to be at. But so let's look at the DNA of Six Sigma on the left side. Now, this is a blown out model. What I showed earlier was DMAIC, which is right here, which is what most practitioners use. This is the full Six Sigma model. We start with ICRA, we go to recognize, then we go to DMAIC, and then we standardize and integrate. And over here on the right is the Great Discovery. It is the exact DNA of Six Sigma, line for line for line. So he saw this come together in the proven path, which is clarify the steps 0 through 8 is the proven path. Okay. And these are the 4 stages, right? And then this is innovate and execute, just like we use in Six Sigma. So this was a major accomplishment for Michael. And this is when the Great Discovery was born. And this was in about the year of 2008 when it was born. So the Great Discovery, it all starts, guys, with the way you think. Now think about this for a second. To be a Six Sigma practitioner, you needed math and statistics and all this training, and it's rigorous, and you got to have big data sets. But now we can teach it to everybody, everyone. We're teaching it to children. We're teaching it to children 5 to 8 years old. We're teaching it to adults, anywhere from adult 18 to 100 plus. We're teaching it to teens. We're teaching it to the preteens. It is a fit for anyone. It's a way of thinking, and it all starts with the way you think. And so if you're open to a new way of thinking and a new way of achieving, the Great Discovery is what you need to do. So that's how the Great Discovery was born. And this was about 2008, okay? 2007, 2008, when Michael did a lot of the work and was finalizing it and getting ready to do the first pilot. So how did we get to where we are today? So I met Michael in 2008, and we were married in 2009. And he was developing the Great Discovery and getting ready to do the first pilot. And I got to learn the Great Discovery sitting with him at dinners, and he described it to me on the backs of napkins. And that's how I was taught the Great Discovery. It was amazing. I fell in love with the Great Discovery, and I knew at that time that that's all I ever wanted to do now was the Great Discovery. And I was just, that's all I wanted to do. After I married Michael, I actually ran the Six Sigma Management Institute for him as he continued to develop the Great Discovery, but I was very integral in working on the Great Discovery. I met Kathy, and I believe Kathy, it was in 2010, I believe.
2009. The class is 2009.
Yep, 2009. Michael held the first pilot group of the Great Discovery. And this is back the very first version of it. And that Kathy and I were sat at the same table, and we became immediate friends. I mean, immediate friends. In fact, I'm 2 days older than Kathy. Literally, we are so much alike, it's not even funny. So we both fell in love with it that day and said, that's all we want to do. So fast forward to 2017, Michael was ill for a lot of years, and he passed in 2017. And we never really got to launch the Great Discovery. And so he asked me to please carry on his legacy with the Six Sigma Management Institute, which I have done, and it is a global company now. We bring Six Sigma to very small countries. We adjust the pricing by the CPI, just like we do for the Great Discovery, so other people in other countries can afford it. We brought Six Sigma to the diamond mines in South Africa, to the Maldives airport in the Maldives. I mean, a lot of places that other practitioners won't go to, because my passion is to empower humanity with knowledge and everything. And it's been even before the Great Discovery. So I went on a quest as soon as Michael passed, because he asked me to carry on his Six Sigma legacy and to launch the Great Discovery to the world. And I went on, and probably way too early. And in my quest, I didn't really do things the right way. Well, I don't think I did it the wrong way, but I just failed. I tried to do it too fast. I thought I just had to do it. and it just did not work. I was trying to push a round peg in a square hole, and I don't think I was ready either. And I literally failed. I did not do well the first time we tried to launch it. And Kathy was there, and it was, nobody did anything wrong. It wasn't ready. It wasn't time. And I believe in my higher power, and I believe that that's what he was trying to tell me. And so I just submitted, and I just said, just lead me, show me what I need to do. So I regrouped, but on that journey, I did meet some people who were in the affiliate marketing, network marketing industry. Because one of the dreams that Michael had was to launch the Great Discovery through Tupperware parties, he called it. If anybody on here knows what Tupperware is, I know that's old school, but I still have my Tupperware and I love it. But what he meant by that was affiliate marketing, sharing, right? You'd go to somebody's home, they'd bring the Tupperware, oh, everybody got together, you could buy Tupperware, you got to hold it, touch it, and everybody earned a little money or you got free stuff, and it was affiliate marketing. And so I wanted to learn about that. I came out of corporate America. I was a former CFO of a very large manufacturing company, so I didn't know anything about it. So on that journey, I met a very special person, and his name is Tim Taylor. And yes, he is my husband today. And Tim is one of the top people in the world that launches affiliate marketing companies. He's very good at it. He's got a very good reputation. And I was blessed enough to be introduced to him. And then I was blessed enough to actually fall in love with him. And I hope he fell in love with me too. I think he did. So anyway, we met, and that was it. We were together. It was another God thing for me. And I think it was for him too. And it's been amazing. But he was on another assignment. And so I wanted Tim to work with me and Kathy, right? Kathy and I continued to develop the Great Discovery. So what Kathy and I said is, you know what? We've got all this new stuff. The world is digitized. Let's get this thing online, because we were doing, coaching and, some live stuff and all that. So we decided to digitize the whole thing, which we did during COVID. And so we did that and kept waiting. I kept building the platform and waiting for that person to be ready. And Tim finally got ready. And that was in the end of 2022. And he came to me and he said, are you still looking to launch the Great Discovery? Do you still need me in that position? I said, yes. And so he came on board. And that's when we started working to launch the first version of the Great Discovery. And guys, this is going to be really fun to walk through, okay? Our first launch was in March of 2023. This was our original logo, and this was our original website. This picture was taken off of our back balcony here where Tim and I live. And we used it because it was so enlightening and just so beautiful for us that it just reflected everything about the Great Discovery. But the first version of the Great Discovery, guys, was not an e-learning platform. It was about the Great Discovery course, the Great Discovery International course, teaching you the Great Discovery. And we had coaching programs, right? You could enroll and you could sell the Great Discovery course and the coaching programs, and you could earn commissions on that. And so that was all great. But the thing that we soon realized as we were taking people through the Great Discovery, they said, well, I want to change careers. Well, I need to go out and learn how to write a resume. I need to go out and learn how to do good in an interview. Where do I find that information? We were like, oh my gosh, Google. We were like, oh my God. And Tim said, we need to bring that information on the platform and create an e-learning platform that supports the Great Discovery. And Kathy and I looked at each other, and for a second I hesitated, and then I said, oh my gosh, that's exactly what we need to do. So at our next phase, October of 23, just 6 months later, we launched the Monetized Global E-Learning Community. And this is when we started to bring on course creators. These were our first two original packages, guys. Some of you may even recognize them. Some of you might even be on the Champions Course Creator Pack and the Basic Course Creator Pack. So, and that was our second. So March 23, our original launch, October 23, e-learning brought that up. And then we went and we started to actually bring in the teens. This is about the time we started to bring in the teen program and get that going. And then we actually started to work on the Bentley series books, right? So you can see those behind me. All 6 books are done now, but the 6 books have evolved since March of 23, right? Early 23, we started writing the books, and we just finished with Bentley's Success here just a few months ago. I think it came out of print like 2 months ago. So the whole shift was to e-learning and going from 5 years old to 100 plus with the Great Discovery, teaching everyone the Six Sigma way of thinking. So then we evolved in March of 24, where we revamped the platform again and really started to focus on the global market and introducing translations. This is where we were doing the demo reels, showing the different languages. Now, this was still a year and a half ago. And so the technology has advanced so much to where we are today. But in March of 24 is where we actually started to run translations and work with that technology. It was amazing. So where are we today? Today, we have got our platform up, and we've got the bifurcated site, learners, affiliates, creators. We have much more targeted marketing. We have brought on full on-demand translations. All audio, video, and now PDF are translatable into many, many languages for free from the learner perspective or from the creator's perspective. Once an on-demand translation is ran, then it's there for anyone who wants to come and view it behind them. It is absolutely amazing. We also brought on our Discovery Vox translator, which is a Chrome tool. It works on Chrome, and it works on any website, and it will translate real time from, I think we have 41 languages on that, so you can do duplex translations. So we embedded Zoom into our channels in the new platform, and you can use that Discovery Vox translator to actually converse with someone in another language through Zoom, through our channel embed Zoom on a Chrome browser. It's pretty amazing. So I wanted to go through the history tonight, and I wanted to also tell you guys about next Wednesday, okay? Next Wednesday, Kathy's going to be taking you through the Great Discovery overview, just an overview of the course itself, okay? And why are we doing this? The Great Discovery was front and center when we started this journey. That was our goal, to get the Great Discovery out to the world. And then when we went into the e-learning platform, it took a lot of resources and technology. And the Great Discovery course kind of got not set on the shelf, but kind of just set over here, because we had to focus on bringing you guys the best e-learning platform that we could possibly create. And we've done that. Translations, everything that we offer, we are getting ready. We already have a prototype that I showed the other night of embedding AI into our course onboarding, guys. We're not stopping where we're at today. We're going to continue. And this platform is one of a kind in the world. And it's going to continue to be. We are going to continue to lead the drive in new technologies and emerging technologies. But it's time for the Great Discovery course to come back out and be our bright, shiny star, because everyone needs to go through the Great Discovery course. Now, all of you who are creators, you have this in your courses on the platform. We gave it to you for free when you signed up as a creator. You all have it. And I know some of you have used it and some of you have not. For those of you who have not, get in there, come next week, see the overview, and then on November 15th, we're going to have a Great Discovery experience. We are going to take a session on a Saturday so everyone can come, and we're going to take 6 hours, and we're going to walk you through the Great Discovery experience so you can actually experience it and start to see the power of it. And I'll tell you this, the Great Discovery, the Six Sigma way of thinking, will exponentially increase your odds of success in everything you do. Everything, you guys. I use the Six Sigma way of thinking every day. It is a natural thing for me now. It is a second order change. What is a second order change? It is something that you learn or you get and you just can't do without it again. Can any of you give up your refrigerator? No. Having a refrigerator is a second order change, okay? Learning the Great Discovery is a second order change. You will not go back to the way you thought before. It will enhance your thinking, and you will automatically, anytime you have a problem or anything you're trying to solve or any new path you want to blaze, you will automatically use the Six Sigma way of thinking once you learn it. Okay, it is we use the reticular activating system. It's a system in our brain, and once you learn it, you won't go back, and it will enhance your learning in everything that you do. I just cannot stress that enough. So all of you creators have it. Okay, come next week and Kathy will take you through an overview, and then come on November 15th. Mark your calendars now and come and join us for that experience and learn it. It's going to be absolutely amazing. All right, so that is the end of my story tonight, guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share, and I will open it up for questions. No questions?
Sandra, it's Renee.
Hey, Renee.
So wonderful. What an amazing presentation. I use this, as I've told you multiple times, in my coaching now. Because that interview I did with you, when I showed you the voice blueprint and Six Sigma, because I was doing my due diligence on you before I interviewed you. And out loud in my four walls, I said, oh my God, that's the voice blueprint. And I didn't even know about 6 months. I didn't really, at the time, I was new to the Great Discovery. I hadn't learned about that. And you said, I'd love you to incorporate it. So now that's what I do with my coaching. I incorporate the DMAIC with VOICE. I interweave it. And that's exactly the experience I give every person I work with. And it's just really, it's incredible. It's changed the way I actually see things as I'm working through the DMAIC with that. It definitely changes things a little bit, and it gives the client a really incredible experience. So I encourage everybody to go if you haven't taken it. Like Sandra said, we get it. Like when we join, we get that. That's something they've gifted us in part of our program and signing up. And it's really, I mean, it's just incredible. So if you haven't seen it, if you don't know what it is, go back in there in your back office. You will see it. It's a course you can take. I've taken it multiple times. I go to different parts of it actually, and I'm like, wait a minute, what was this again? And I'll go back and redo it because I need some. You're like, wait a minute, I need a little bit of help here. And I'll go through it again because there's a lot of different components to it, and it's very specific. And it really makes you think about how you're doing things, why you're doing this. And you're right, the RAS system, reticular activating system in our brain that runs on autopilot. But we step in and say, okay, why is this going on? What is the reason for things? It really, I say often, when you change your perspective, it changes your perception. And it really makes you think about things differently. So really great job. And thank you, Michael Harry, for doing this, and Sandra and Kathy and Tim, all of you. I mean, things just they don't just happen. People make things happen. And it's your desire and your heart to do that. So thank you to each and every one of you for bringing this to all of us.
Oh, thank you, Renee, so much. I appreciate that. It has been a very blessed journey. That's all I can say. I just feel so blessed. I really do. Mr. Gregory Todd.
Hi, your passion to what you just said made me get off of my behind, go in my closet, grab a book, and I have started my journal. So for those who haven't taken the course, you'll know what I mean. So I'm starting my journal right now as we're speaking.
Oh, that's so amazing.
Thank you so much. You've really moved me to action.
Oh, thank you. I hope you can join us on the 15th, Gregory.
I'm going to do my best.
Okay, cool. Block it out right now. Don't let anybody get over it.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Rhonda. How are you?
Oh, Sandra, that was so beautiful. I'm telling you what, I feel so inspired. Thank you for sharing that. I've heard the story before, but I don't think I've heard you tell it just like this. And for whatever reason, it's impacted me more than it ever did. And I thought it was amazing before. And even just seeing the difference, what you illustrated from 2023 to today. And I've actually been there for about 18 months of that journey. I'm just so excited. And like I put in the chat, the future is just the expansion is infinite, really. And we have the tools as well as your heart and the leadership with you and Tim and Kathy. Just thank you for all that you're doing to bring this to the world. I was talking to a new affiliate today and telling him he needed to be a creator, and I'm going to share. I want him to come on the 15th And he was, I just, the more I kept talking about all the different things that the Great Discovery has added, even just since I've been here, I was just blown away all over again. So he was excited too, but I think I was even more excited. So thank you for bringing this and for continuing that legacy. Legacy is so important, and we're so glad that you're giving this to everyone and that we can share it.
Thank you, sweetheart. I really appreciate that. I hope that you all can make the 15th. I really do. It's going to be amazing. So, all right, Miss Beverly.
Oh my gosh. You told me it was going to be a good one. Well, that was a lie. It was beyond good. So, but I started it a while back, and then you know how life catches up with you and whatever. But after listening each night, and I'm sure Kathy's going to do a dynamite as well, and then you guys together, it's actually fired me up even more. And just to go out and really share it. And then, with Alex and Bree coming on, right underneath it, there's just no way that this company isn't going to be top notch by the end of the year. Oh my God, hang on to your hats for the 2026, right?
Exactly, Beverly. Thank you for that. Very much
Yeah.
appreciated. Very much. That was awesome. Thank you.
And Tim, you're in there too. So
Yes, Brian.
2 questions. What are the hours on the 15th? When does it start?
It's going to start at noon Eastern and it goes to 6 Eastern.
And is there a cost?
No, it's free. No,
And
it's free. And Brian, you're a creator, so you have the course in your courses. You have it.
I know it's there. I started it but never completed it, so I'm definitely coming.
Yes, come. It would be great. No, it's free. We want to get you guys immersed in the Great Discovery. We gave you the course. We're going to give you 6 hours of immersion into it and get you going so you can share it with other people. And even if somebody doesn't want to be a creator, they can still come in and buy the Great Discovery International course. It's still there. And we offer coaching. We've got coaching to support people. So, no, it's there. And like I said, we kind of had to set it to the side for a while, right? Because we had to do so much development. It's time. It's time for the Great Discovery to come back out. We are built on Six Sigma. The Great Discovery is the 4th generation of Six Sigma. Michael's dream was this. He used to say to me, if I could launch the Great Discovery to the world and we could just make a half a Sigma bump, 900 times improvement to society, what could that do for the world? A half a Sigma bump, guys, but it's going to take all of us sharing it and getting people involved to do that. That's powerful. Yes, Casey.
Well, thank you so much for this presentation. I enjoyed it. And I was a student of the Six Sigma Lean Six Sigma program at my place of work. And I learned a lot. So I am looking forward to that you said 6 hours. I think it's really going to be worth it because what I do recall when I took the Six Sigma program at my job was that we broke into groups and we broke down how to make our process improvement. So I get it, and I have, timing as far as getting into the course. I started it. I am going to get back in there so I can finish it because, of course, you put things on the back burner. I have 29 things on the burners. So anyway, thank you very much. This was great. Just hearing it again. I did listen to what's in the Great Discovery in the course that you presented, but to hear you tell it again today, thank you. Very encouraging.
Oh,
Looking
thank you.
forward to everybody. Hopefully we are all there to participate because I think it's going to be great.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Casey. Very much appreciated. All right, Miss Vienna.
I have a question.
Mhm.
On the teen course. How would you describe the difference? Since I very first came in and heard about the courses and the teen course and the kids books, I was like, you know what? I think this is a whole brand new way of thinking for me, and I might want to start with the kids books. So just your thoughts on that. Is there a benefit if you feel just a little like you might be a fish out of water to starting with the teen course?
The teen course is very, very similar. We did a few things differently. We talk things in a little different manner. So say we have restraining and driving forces, okay? They relate to superheroes and villains, things like that. It's the exact same proven path though, Vienna, and you will adapt to it just perfectly fine, trust me. And for the little ones, the 5 to 8 year olds, we had to find words that meant the same type of thing so the little ones would grasp the concept. So Bentley's dream, right? Well, we're going to dream, we're going to have a mission. Dream, mission, same type of thing, but the children understand what a dream is. For their values, we call them Bentley's treasures, right? Their values, their treasures. So it's just different terminology, Vienna, but it's the same exact process. The proven path is the same proven path that underlies all of them. And so you will be fine going right into the adult program. I would strongly suggest going straight in.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You've given me courage.
Okay, you can do it. All right, Joyce.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Really appreciate this tonight and that you're putting together, bringing us together to do a training around this, the discovery process, Six Sigma process. I hesitate to put this out, but I'm going to risk and put it out there anyway. I'm tracking this for authenticity. I found a woman who purportedly said she wrote a course utilizing the Six Sigma method. She's earned $240,000 in 6 months.
Six Sigma is very powerful, Joyce. The Six Sigma methodology, DMAIC, can be applied to anything. So if that can be applied, the Great Discovery can be applied. If she saw the Great Discovery, she would probably say, that's exactly what I did, but in layman's terms. So when you think about the Six Sigma terminology and the Great Discovery process, it's the same process. I laid those out for you, the DNA. We just use terminology different, and we also take the math and statistics out. But no, I completely would believe that she did use Six Sigma methodologies to earn money. Absolutely, you guys, that's what Six Sigma does. Absolutely.
So it's real. I can believe this.
It's real. I would say it's real. I would have to see exactly what she did, but if she's saying she used Six Sigma principles and methodology, doesn't surprise me at all. Look at the money that big businesses saved. GE saved $2.2 billion in 18 months deploying Six Sigma. $2.2 billion, and that was back in the 90s. I mean, companies that do Six Sigma are much better companies, and they excel and they're profitable. Companies that don't, they get left in the dust. I'm sorry, but so Six Sigma is world class. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Sigma, right? So there's 4 Sigma is average. And I should have done a slide on this, guys. I did not. 4 Sigma is average. Do you know what most companies run at? What is it? 2.5 Sigma to 3 Sigma? 2.5 Sigma we call or 2 Sigma we call horrid. Do you know what the IRS runs at? What their Sigma is? It's 2 Sigma. That's how inefficient the IRS is, guys. And these are not me just saying, these are facts. These are facts calculated by using Six Sigma methodologies. They're facts. Another one is airline baggage handling is 4 Sigma, is average, right? But you know what? Flight fatality. Do you know what the Sigma is on flight fatality? It's 6. Why is our bags 4 Sigma average and our lives 6 Sigma? Because of what we value, right? And our values are at the heart of the Great Discovery. It's all tied together. It's all absolutely amazing. All right.
One final question. Can anyone attend, or must they all be course creators?
No, anyone can attend.
Okay.
Anyone can attend. And even if they don't have the course, they can come attend and see what it's all about. And it's free. We're opening it up to everyone. Like I said, we're taking the Great Discovery course off the little shelf it's been sitting over here, and we're putting it back in front.
Thank you.
This is how we can change the world. Brian, one last question.
Have you created anything that we can use to tell people about it? And I can put it on my LinkedIn, or people can send whatever channel that they reach out to people through?
Yes, we are going to be getting that up and going in the next few days, Brian. We should have something up, a landing page that you can share with people, probably by early next week. Tim, do you think we'll have stuff up by early next week?
I'm pretty sure. Absolutely.
Pretty
It's
sure that's
this
all in
week,
progress.
hopefully.
Yep, all in progress right now. So,
Thank you.
okay. Okay, Bob, we've got 1 minute, real quick. Do you have a quick question?
No, we
Can't hear you,
can't.
Bob.
can't hear
I think your audio's out, my friend.
Darn it. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Well, if you want to
can
throw
put
it in
you
chat,
drop in the chat.
yeah, try and throw it in chat.
In the meantime, while he's doing that, one of the things I just wanted to reiterate is, great job, Sandra. That's so special, and everyone here knows, if you've been with the Great Discovery, you know what our mission is. It's to empower humanity through knowledge and economic opportunity. And just as Sandra said, putting the Great Discovery back out at front, it was never in the back. We just had to create the mechanism to really achieve that global mission, to reach all of humanity. Reaching just people at Tupperware parties locally is a great start, but when we can reach people worldwide, that's what it's all about. So with the Great Discovery, with our marketplace, we've done just that. And so as we're doing this, as we're taking this back out to the forefront, even the pack, if it's okay, Sandra, let me just share this right quick, is the actual pack that we're working with, wherever it is. Where did my page go? Oh my goodness. There it is. But when you look at the Great Discovery Marketplace, and everything that we've set up the most amazing educational marketplace that you can get, because step 0 is, establishing your goal. What do you want to do? Then you need that knowledge to go through with it as you deploy that proven way of thinking. And so the tools that we've created are beyond anything of any platform anywhere in the world. We didn't want to just become another platform. We wanted to become a Six Sigma worthy platform. And that's exactly what we're doing. We have more work to do? Sure. We're up there, but we're not at 6 yet. We're on the way. But we set this up now with the new Creator and Marketer Suite, where you get unlimited content hosting for life. You can put your course up there as people are learning that Six Sigma way of thinking and moving from mediocrity to magnificence. That's who you really are, is magnificence. You just got to unlock it. And the Great Discovery helps you do that. We help them to translate it, no extra cost. We give you ongoing coaching, not just in the Great Discovery, but anything you need in that is available as well. But there's also, coaching in just about every session or every particular, thing that you need to learn. But the biggest addition, we added the Great Discovery International course right into this package. The early packages had it. We pulled it back. We're refining and improving the deliverability, but the content is all there. This is the 4th generation of Six Sigma. Every creator and marketer has it now. Why do we do that? Because we want you to go from mediocrity to magnificence. That's what it's all about. And applying that way of thinking, like Renee did with her courses, and so many others are doing that. When you start realizing it, everything starts going. As Joyce Christie was talking, her friend was started deploying Six Sigma. She made $240,000, right? And just when she's transitioned by deploying that way of thinking. So you can get that now with this whole pack. It's all included, it's $649 here in the States. Of course, we adjust in other countries. We also have additional opt-in tools that help you support it, that you can try for free now for 30 days. This is a one-time payment. It's not ongoing. There's no locks. There's no handcuffs. There's no hidden fees. We suggest that you get these other tools, but these are, you get to try them free just to find out. The key with all of this, you can actually save $100 on it with coupon code CREATOR100. So that $649 is $549. If you've been thinking about this, now's the time to do it. Unlimited hosting for life, unlimited translations, 30-day trial on the tools. Oh, and by the way, if you refer somebody that really wants to get up and explode their coaching, their training, their service, whatever it is that they want to do, you're going to make an extra $125 cash bonus for the person that referred it. We're ready to move with this. And this offer is going to end on October 31st. So that's my little thing in there. I wanted to make sure everyone knew how they could take advantage of this. Learning without action is, well, I've got some words for that, but I'm going to leave that in my joke bag for a little bit later. So there we have it. But Sandra, back to you, and let's wrap up.
I just want to say thank you, everyone. I haven't got through the chat yet, but I love doing these sessions. You know, we all get tired, we all work a lot, and we get into the day-to-day routine, and we kind of put these the passion in the back burner. But doing sessions like this just brings it all back for me and reiterates to me why I do what I do every day, and why this community is so important for me, and why I want to make an impact on the world. I want to give the world that half a sigma bump. I want to try anyway. So I thank you all for being here. And we better get moving on to Steve Walters. Sorry, Steve, we stole a little bit of your time, okay? But thank you, everyone.